into the danger zone.
The Drew Yari Show.
The Drew Yari Show.
Yeah, man, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Stupid idiot.
Drew Yari. The Drew Yari Show begins now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's going on, guys? It is Wednesday. It's 9:07 p.m. Central Time here in San Antonio, and we're back for the experience. And I want to welcome everybody here to the show. Punked Enigma, Evil Dose, that's Jeff Lippman, of course, Maurice Bear, Gary Barrett, Kyle K. And I am the host. I'm Drew. Welcome, everybody. Hello. And with me, as always,
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and spinebustertees.com.
Yeah, we're both dying, apparently. I'm sick, Justin's sick, so it's fun. Is anyone else sick? Anyone else in this chat room sick? Please let us know. But let's start the show off with some big business. With AEW. AEW was in Boston tonight for their big business show. And as we've been hearing for the past few months, the show opens with a brand new star on the show. Well, brand new for AEW, I might add, is the formerly known Sasha Banks, who's now Mercedes MONE. The show opens with a new theme song, which says CEO, CEO. Mercedes MONE is now All Elite. She came to the ring. I think she looked great. She looked amazing. The promo I wasn't too nuts about. It seemed very, how do I put it? It seemed very generic and babyface-ish for somebody who's supposed to be a CEO. I don't know. Personally, to me, I always like Sasha or Mercedes more as a heel. She works better as a heel. Just my opinion. But a lot of what she said seemed very, I'm not going to say hokey, but like a lot of the stuff about ever since I was a little girl and Eddie Guerrero and I'm happy to be here, which I'm pretty sure she's going to be a heel soon. Just there's no doubt in my mind about that. But again, Mercedes is in AEW. It's a big deal. People loved it. The stadium that they're at, or arena or whatever that they're at, was pretty packed. So good. Whenever you have full stadiums or full arenas, it comes off better on TV. It's good for them. Good for AEW. But what'd you think about Mercedes, the debut of Mercedes?
It was great. Thought it executed perfectly. What she said was coming from the heart, obviously, right? Mm-hmm. Couldn't be more happy for the woman. You know what I mean? She wants to, one thing about her is that, she wears her heart on her sleeve and she wants to make a difference in wrestling. And, whether she's going to that's going to happen in AEW or not remains to be seen. But that's what she wants to do. So, very happy for her. The WWE stands on Twitter were upset because she ain't come back to WWE. She's a traitor. Well, yeah, she's probably going to be back in the next couple of years anyway. Then all of a sudden you'll be happy again. So
what she said, by the way, she did a podcast where she said straight up, like, I'll come back. One of these days I will come back. But
yeah. But so yeah. I mean, so I'm fine with it now. It's on what she wants to do. On what she stands for as far as women's wrestling. It's up to Tony Khan and company to fulfill that for her. They main event the women tonight on Dynamite. I mean, obviously that was a little obviously Mercedes inspired. I'm pretty sure that I'm not saying that she had I want to be there. I want to have the women main event. I'm pretty sure Tony Khan was like, oh, you're here. We want to show you that we're serious about women's wrestling. We'll put the women as the main event tonight. So I'm good with it. And we'll get to see fresh matchups with her because in WWE we saw pretty much all the matches almost that we could have saw with Mercedes. So yeah,
right. So again, good for Mercedes. Can't really say too much about it that I've already said. And also, Bailey and Naomi were in attendance. They were there supporting Mercedes.
And Tamina too. Don't forget about her.
Oh yeah, Tamina. Tamina. They're all legit besties in real life. So, Bailey was sitting all the way up in the nosebleeds. So, traitor. No, I'm playing. But yeah, like you said, Mercedes. Whatever you want to say about her, she does love wrestling. She does care about women's wrestling. It all matters on how Tony Khan is going to book it. Because how many of these great, debuts have we had? Or, I don't want to say great, but how many of these big debuts have you had with a lot of these, great women's wrestlers, and they all just...
just anybody in general, men or women.
Anybody, yeah, men or women. Other than CM Punk. Have, these big debuts, and like the next week is like, I don't know. It's like, what are we doing next week? I don't know. Okay, what are we doing at the pay-per-view? I don't know. So just, just the boy who cried wolf. Tony needs to do a better job at booking this, especially someone like Mercedes, who, regardless of how I feel or how anyone else feels, she's a big deal. She's a pretty big deal in women's wrestling. So, as for the rest of the show, you had, like I mentioned earlier, or I don't think I need to mention this for anyone who watched the show. Tony was smart enough to put out his, his heavy hitters in the first hour. Because right after Mercedes, you had Wardlow versus Samoa Joe for the title, which I was thinking like, okay, why isn't this the main event? Oh, okay, I guess they want to do something with the Mercedes at the end. All right, that makes sense. So, a lot of the hype going around this match was that Adam Cole was always preaching to the audience, Wardlow's going to bring that title to the group. Or I forget what it's called, Undisputed Dynasty, or what's it called again?
Undisputed Kingdom.
Undisputed Kingdom. And he's going to win it, he's going to bring it back to the Kingdom, and then he's going to give it to me being Adam Cole. Which I was like, okay, I guess they kind of spoiled that already. And then he wrestles Joe, and I thought they had a decent match. Joe never stinks up the joint, and Wardlow, regardless of how his booking has been, can still perform, given who you put him in the ring with. Joe wins by submission. Very easily submission. Which kind of makes me think two things. One, what was the point of this build-up? And two, is Wardlow pretty much done at this point in AEW? What do you think?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I mean, it's a story for Wardlow to get kicked out of the group and go from there. But yeah, I mean, obviously Tony Khan doesn't see that in Wardlow as a world champion or world champion material. So I don't know if he resigned yet, but if he hasn't, then
at this point
we'll just go ahead.
I was going to say sorry to cut you off. At this point, Wardlow should just already be asking somebody for Bruce Pritchard's number or Nick Khan's number, because he has no future in this company. You said, Tony Khan doesn't see him as a world champion.
I mean, you can have a future while being the top guy, but I do see Wardlow having that potential to be a top guy. But not everyone can be a top guy, even if he goes to WWE. Like, his chances of being a top guy is more, obviously. But will that really happen with a lot of guys over there? What's the real difference between Wardlow and Braun Breaker? Braun Breaker's a way better version of Wardlow. You know what I mean?
True.
So it's if it goes to WWE, good. I think it'll be utilized better. But it's at the same time, it's you got guys. Some guys already there better than him already. You know what I mean? Obafemi is still developing. Who knows? Maybe he becomes better than Wardlow. Kind of different wrestlers, because Wardlow can do the high spots and stuff, and Obafemi is just straight powerhouse, right? So that that's another reason why Camille, why she didn't really end up going to WWE. And I made the comment like, well, you already got women like, Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair and Ivy Naya, who are all better than Camille. So it's like, yeah. I mean, if Wardlow goes to WWE, great. I'm not going to speculate if he, is he going to be leaving or not, but I'm just putting that out there because, like, you already got one guy for sure that's already leaps and bounds ahead of him, of Braun Breaker, so.
And Femi. Yeah, you made a good point. I didn't really think about it that way. Especially since, we've been having these conversations about WWE signing people when it's like, they don't really need to sign people. They already have stars, and they have stars in the making. And, yeah, I didn't really think about, the kind of, I guess, the comparison with, with Braun and Wardlow. Not even like Oba and Wardlow. So, I don't know. With someone like Wardlow, he's also like, what, in his mid-30s? Early 30s?
I think early 30s, yeah.
Yeah, and then you got a young Stallion and Braun, and you got...
Oh, no, he's 36, sorry. He's 36.
Right. And then you got fucking Oba, who's allegedly 22, which... I say allegedly, I'm like, there's no way that motherfucker's 22. I don't fucking know, but... Easy Dane's better than Wardlow. Jesus Christ, Jeff. I don't know. Like, I guess, kind of to what you're adding, like, I do want to see Ricky Starks. I think Ricky Starks is all but, heading to WWE. But as far as anyone else goes, like, without thinking of the obvious, I don't really want Wardlow. I don't really know if WWE really needs Wardlow. I honestly think WWE could probably use someone like, JB Hayter more, or other than a Ricky Starks. I don't know. We've had this conversation like a billion times, but yeah, that's just how I feel about Wardlow. If he ends up staying, hopefully he's getting paid more. That's really all I gotta say. What else happened on AEW? Because, like I said, I only watched the first hour. The tag team match. You had the Jacksons, and the debut on AEW of Okada versus.
Well, he actually wrestled on Collision on Saturday.
Okay, I guess his Dynamite debut. I'll just put it that way. Against Eddie Kingston, Pac, and Penta. I kind of zoned out of this match, but I did see. I did pay attention to whenever Okada did come in just to see how he did, and I thought he did okay. He's kind of transitioning into the dipshit heel, role pretty well. But yeah, he won. But what did you think about that match?
That was a fine opener, or not fine opener, but fine tag team match. Okada and the Bucks are becoming one of my favorite things in AEW right now. I'm really liking what they're doing with this trio here. It's working so far, and no one was going to lead up to with Kenny Omega coming back and facing Okada, and from being fired from the Elite. The stories there, obviously, the stories there with their past matches and feuds. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite enjoying what I'm seeing so far on how they're using Okada.
Right. Oh, and then I forgot. There's something else I forgot to mention. After the end of the world title match, you had Swerve Strickland come out and, I guess, tried to confront Joe, but security held him back, and then Joe walked away and kicked a guy off the ramp for like no reason. Not so much as kick, just kind of, I guess, like moved him with his foot. But so I guess Swerve is officially a babyface.
Yeah,
like a full-fledged babyface, which is good because he's. It was kind of weird because he's supposed to be a heel, and then he came out to a song that people liked, and he had a manager that people liked and would dance to. So he's not an official face, which is good. And Joe works better as the smug, arrogant, dick heel. All right. So after the tag match, I did. I was kind of like. I didn't hear Will Ospreay's promo. I just know basically he was.
It was excellent promo. Very good.
Yeah, he was promoting the match that he was going to have with Danielson at Dynasty. So that's really about it. As far as the rest of the show, can you summarize it for everybody?
I mean, I thought the show overall was good. I didn't think it was great or whatnot, but I mean, even though the women main event the show, I understood why. It just didn't really feel like a main event for a show like this per se. But Bang Bang Scissors Gang is broken up, thank God. We got the good old Switchblade back. So the Bang Bang Gang Bullet Club Gold is back by themselves. So they turned on the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. So apparently people are mad on Twitter today for Max Caster saying that Sammy Guevara is a good dude, and like, I don't know, people are just getting mad about random shit on Twitter. But yeah, I mean I thought the show was good overall. I mean, I give it like a 7 out of 10 tonight, you know.
Nice. So Big Business did pretty well, I can imagine. All right. So that was AEW. That was the AEW report. Let's start last Friday with SmackDown, and let's kind of, start with the meat and potatoes. So last Friday in SmackDown was in Dallas, and all week we were waiting for the answer. What's going to happen? Is Cody and Seth going to accept Rock's challenge? So all night they were really promoting the hell out of this, as they should. You saw Roman show up to the arena, and you had security there waiting for Roman, the guy who's okay. And then you had The Rock show up in his cowboy hat and his truck with security there waiting for him. And then you had Cody and Seth show up with security. So they really wanted to make this a big deal, which as they should. And they were waiting in their respective locker rooms with security waiting outside each locker room. And then towards the end of the night, Nick Aldis shows up to Cody and Seth's locker room and finds out that they're not there. So I guess they escaped through like a secret entrance or a door or whatever. And then earlier in the night, or not early in the night, but later in the night, you had Roman come out. And then you had The Rock come out to, I guess not necessarily a brand new entrance, but I guess a new-ish entrance, where it was still his theme music, but then you had the lights go out, and then you had Thunder, strike, for the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, which, that was pretty fucking cool. I can't lie, that was actually pretty fucking cool, especially that graphic of him, you just see The Rock's silhouette right there, and you see Thunder strike. Like, that's what a star looks like. That's what a superstar looks like. And then you had Cody and Seth come out, coming out through the crowd, which I guess was supposed to be like, synonymous with the Shield, or I guess them kind of taking a shot at The Rock, where The Rock would say he's the people's champion, and he's not really the people's champion, that they're really more of the people, or men of the people, because they're coming out through the crowd. So then they get in the ring, and then Cody talks about what he wants to talk about, and then blah blah blah, and then The Rock tells him to shut his mouth. You're here for one thing and one thing only. You're here to make the answer for the match. And then he repeats the match stipulations. Seth tells him to shut the hell up and says you're a walking midlife crisis and that we accept at Mania. Roman starts laughing and starts talking shit, saying, Cody, you must be stupid. You're letting him accept the match for you. Because here's what's going to happen. When I beat you, that's it. You're not getting any more title matches. That's it. And then The Rock, gets on saying what he's been saying, saying that, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you don't win, to make sure you walk away a loser at Mania, because his grandfather's watching down on us and he's proud. My grandfather, the High Chief Peter Maivia, is proud. Your dad, the Dream, one of my heroes, is watching. And then starts to bring up Cody's family, saying that, your sister was a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, and your brother, Goldust, but he didn't say Goldust by name, is a future Hall of Famer, and you're the youngest. So that makes it a 20-year age gap, which according to his sister, it's actually a 3-year age gap, but whatever. And says, so that means you're a mistake. Oh. And then Cody, just looking flustered, gets on the mic. He's about to say something, then he full-on bitch slaps Rock, giving him a receipt, as they say in the wrestling business. And then right when The Rock says mistake, you see the graphic come up which shows you the show's about to end, and then Cody slaps The Rock, and the show goes off air. I'm sorry. There was a fan footage in the arena showing that when The Rock was, saying what he was saying, you see two camera guys go to him to make the motion of, "Hey, we got to wrap it up. We got to cut the show." So it wasn't just a matter of like WWE maybe wanting to go, maybe do like an overrun, which I'm pretty sure they wanted to, but maybe they couldn't, or maybe they
can't. Fox don't give them overruns.
Well, which I figured. And then same thing with USA doesn't give them overruns, I think.
Only NXT Raw they stopped doing overruns for like the last year or 2 years, something like that.
Is there a reason why? Do you know?
I've heard the reason. I just forget right now. I can't even think really, but I can't really think of what it is at the time.
If anyone knows, drop it in the chat. But good ending. I mean, I'm pissed off because it's just like, come on, 3 more minutes. But it just makes the main event of WrestleMania of night 1 and night 2 mean that much more. Great shit. What'd you think about this segment?
Okay, I'm gonna say this.
Oh.
It was great. I like it. It was fun. It's what I needed. I'm putting that disclosure out there. However, we need to ramp this up. Okay? Can't just be coming out and saying the same shit that you've been saying for the past 2-3 weeks now, more or less, with these promos. A little bit of hints of different layers of things in there, but really this hasn't really advanced as of yet. Again, I loved it. I like what I heard. I popped and I went, all that stuff. But in the core of it all, if you look at the core of it all, what has really advanced in the story? Nothing. Not yet. Not yet, at least. We had a little bit of advancement last week. But it was said the same. It was kind of the same thing that was said. They haven't really really gotten into each other yet. No one's been physical yet. Rock hasn't got physical yet for obvious reasons. You don't want to, have any injury or anything like that. But you can only do so much talking before someone has to throw a punch at somebody. And yes, Cody slap Rock. Okay, I'm not talking about getting physical. I'm talking about him, taking a crossroads, or probably not even that, but like a scoop slam or a superplex or something. You know what I mean? Like actual bump. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, but again, it needs to start ramping up very soon here because we only got so many weeks before WrestleMania. So we got 1, 2. How many more SmackDowns we got here? 1, 2, 3. We got 4 SmackDowns left. So
yeah.
So this week we gotta start getting something else. You know what I mean? We gotta get something else. We can't just keep coasting by. And I'm kind of getting that feeling they're trying to coast by a little bit with this story. So, but hopefully Friday they can be able to advance it.
So. More than likely not this week. So you think maybe the Friday before Mania, they can maybe do a brawl to maybe, like you said, amp it up a little bit?
I mean, yeah, of course they're going to have something like that the night before WrestleMania. I need something before then. You know what I mean? I need Seth, doing a curve stop on Roman or something, or you know what I mean? Or The Rock, or the Bloodline's in there and The Rock's trying to break Cody's arm. Give me something. You know what I mean? You can only go so far with these promos. Even though those promos have been fantastic, but you can only go so far with just talking. You need some physicality. You need some of that to be mixed in there. Not to do anything, super crazy. I'm not asking for Rock to get fucking thumbtacks and do a rock bottom to Cody on thumbtacks. Nothing like that, obviously. But you just need something a little bit more.
Right. There's one thing I don't get. I mean, I get why, but at the same time, I don't. Why doesn't The Rock ever come out on Raw? Why doesn't The Rock come out on Raw and do stuff with Seth?
You want The Rock to come out on a show? The Rock is not going to come out on a show that's getting less views significantly.
I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just he's supposed to be the on the board, and he's like, I'm your boss. It's like, okay, well then come.
I agree with you. I 100% agree. And there's only so much you can do. Roman never comes out on Raw.
Well, because he's on SmackDown.
Okay, well,
he's the SmackDown champion, or he's the champion of SmackDown, or whatever.
You're right. You're right about that.
Right, because I'm going by what you're saying. Like, amp it up. All right, how about The Rock comes out on Raw and like does something with Seth and maybe Drew?
I mean that can happen. That may still happen, but I think their focus is more on SmackDown, which is dumb because they're done with Fox. So like, who the fuck, why the fuck Fox would care at this point? You know what I mean? On what happens, but I don't know. There's definitely something bigger to this that we don't know about, that we're not in the know, and plus you gotta think about this way. Raw is a 3-hour show. Get it? And I think some of these promos will be, probably a little bit better on Raw, but I just think that they're so worried about numbers and viewership that it's going to be looked as a failure if they don't get as big numbers. And they're not going to get that anyway, but that's probably how they're looking at it.
I mean, here's kind of a quick fix to the Fox problem, is just save that last half hour for the Bloodline and Rock. Like, don't do the last 20 and 15 minutes and then trying to pack all that shit into that short amount of time. Just leave that last half hour for them. It's
so hard you're giving 25% of the show to that, which I mean, you can only do so much. There's only so much things you can say within those 30 minutes. Every week. There's only so much you can do. Like,
I don't know.
Rock's gonna come out. He's gonna come out to San Antonio. He's gonna be like, "You got the number one obesity rated here." It's the same thing when we went to Phoenix talking about crack and meth. Like it's like how far can you go, or like how far can you do this? So
he's gonna be in Memphis on Friday.
I think 20, 25 minutes, tops 25 minutes is kind of depending what they're doing, but. I feel that they don't need to do that every single week, and probably we'll see. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be at least one show between now and then where they don't really come out there and really say much. Like, it's like a 5-10 minute segment, and people are gonna look at it as a failure segment, including myself, maybe. So
right,
I don't know. We'll see.
Right, because this Friday, The Rock's definitely going to be on there. He advertised it, and then the weeks after that. The 22nd, the 29th, he's not scheduled to be on there. I'm assuming he's going to be on the Friday before Mania. I'm assuming, but we'll see.
I mean, that's the go home show. Like, if he's not, that's one of the biggest failures in company history. If they don't have him right. On the night before the night before his main event match, he's got to be on SmackDown.
Right. And then, I guess other news, kind of going by The Rock's schedule, is after Mania, he's going to be shooting a movie. So he's going to be shooting from May to August the 1st, I believe. He's going to be shooting an A24 movie about, I believe it's Mark Kerr. It's a famous UFC fighter, so he's going to be quite busy for the next 3 months after Mania. So, we'll see what happens with that. As for the rest of SmackDown, I mean, SmackDown usually is a pretty solid show, but like we've kind of been agreeing on, is that it's very much a one-segment show. Which, as you kind of imagine, if it's The Rock, it's going to take up a big chunk of the show. Logan Paul came out to open the show and announced that WWE and Prime, his energy drink, is in cahoots. They're in a business with each other, showing the big Prime logo in the middle of the ring. And then KSI came out to kind of talk shit, and then Randy Orton came out and RKO'd KSI, so we got that. And then there's a tag match with Orton and Kevin.
Quick little thing. Well, how you feel about the Prime, the Prime sponsorship being on the canvas?
I'm fine with it. Doesn't bother me.
Yeah. There were some people out there that were kind of like a little pissy about him. Like, well, this, WWE, it looks like they want to trend towards more of a sports presentation, and part of a sports presentation is advertisements. Look at the UFC, so
Right.
And there were some people saying that, oh, it should be in a bottle, it should be at the bottom of the Prime. Well, when you just put the word Prime on the canvas, like, there's gonna be some people that are gonna think about Amazon Prime and not knowing that it is a sports drink company. So yeah, I'm cool with it. Maybe it could be a little bit smaller, the actual logo itself. That's a very nitpicky thing. Right. But the only reason I'm saying that is because, maybe, some of the talent may slip on that particular printing of the logo there, because I know that makes the canvas a little bit slippery. So, yeah, but that's the only thing.
Right, and it's also a company that owns UFC, and like you said, they want to aim towards making it more of a sports-based company. And UFC always has logos on their mats. So, again, don't bother me. It's cool, whatever. And then you had a tag match with Orton and Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller and Theory. The Faces won, as we predicted. You had Bobby Lashley and Karrion Kross, which ended in a disqualification after everybody interfered. So I'm assuming that's going to continue, maybe at Mania. We'll see. And then Bianca Belair telling Naomi to basically don't feel sorry for Bayley. So all but confirms that Bianca is maybe going to join Bayley. Tiffany Stratton beat Meechin in a pretty quick match. AJ Styles cutting a scathing promo on LA Knight, basically telling him, that I never had a problem with you, but then you walk in here like you own the place, and then you stole my momentum, so someone's gotta humble you. And then LA Knight, taking a steel chair and beating the shit out of the on the TV that he was watching it on. So cool. Dragon Lee versus Angel Garza in a pretty decent match, but or Lee won actually, and then the rest of Legado beat his ass because LWO wasn't there for some reason. But that was SmackDown. Pretty decent SmackDown. What did you think about SmackDown as a whole?
It was SmackDown. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with the show. It was fine. I mean, I'll tell you this: I could have not watched it and not miss anything. I can tell you that. Right.
It's basically just a one segment show from here on. Until Mania. So I mean, they're doing a good. I mean, other than the Bloodline Rock stuff, they're doing a good job at building up other feuds. Like the LA Knight and AJ feud. They're building that up and making it interesting. And the stuff with Logan Paul, they're making that interesting. And speaking of Logan Paul, he announced on his podcast on Impulsive that SummerSlam this year will be in Cleveland. So, any thoughts on that?
If it's not in San Antonio, I don't care where the show's at. Good for them.
That just seems weird. SummerSlam in Cleveland. I don't know. Any sporting event in Cleveland is just fucking weird. Kyle K. Cleveland sucks. I agree. Alright, so Monday Night Raw. Decent show. Again, nothing really too crazy happened. I mean, I guess, yeah, Drew McIntyre, who comes out to open the show as he's been doing for the past few months, or the past month actually, and still being interesting, still being a captivating heel. Kind of, in some ways, doing the Shano, I was gonna say, was it Sean O'Hare, the devil promo, where he's like, I'm only telling you what's true, or I'm only telling you what you already know. And then Seth comes out to basically kind of be a dick to him, which is kind of confusing because I can't really tell who's the heel and who's the face. And that's probably because both guys are acting like heels. But Seth telling him, you know why that I haven't been paying attention to you, because I have The Rock here, and I have Cody here, and I have Roman here, and you're all the way down here, so you're kind of the least of my problems. And then Drew looks like he's about to come in and attack him, and then he stops. So, making that match seem more special, which, in a few weeks on the 25th on Raw is going to be in Chicago, and they've already announced that CM Punk will be there. So, you and me have already agreed we think Punk will be involved in this match somehow. More than likely not as a wrestler, but maybe as like a special guest referee, enforcer, whatever. But I don't know. This match with Drew and Seth, I've seen these guys wrestle more than once, and they can both put on good matches. This match alone by themselves, I don't buy it. Something's gonna happen. I think Punk is gonna be involved somehow. I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I enjoyed the segment.
Okay. And then you had Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan. Becky won. It was a pretty decent match. And then in the back, Nia, or not Nia. Oh no, I'm fast forwarding. You had Rhea Ripley come out to pretty much just say, you need this match more than me because I'm mommy and mommy's always on top. Blah blah blah. And then in the back, you had Nia beat the shit out of Becky and Liv, and which sets up a match for next week. Becky versus Nia in a last woman standing. So we have that to look forward to. And was there another WrestleMania? Oh yeah, there was a WrestleMania announcement by both GMs that it will be a multi-man tag team match for the tag titles. You have the Judgment Day defending against 5 other teams, 2 SmackDown teams, and 3 Raw teams. So we have the...
Which was kind of shocking that they announced that.
I guess the idea that a lot of us thought was it was going to be Judgment Day versus Miz or Truth Miz or Miz Truth.
Well, yeah. I thought it was going to be a ladder match. I thought it was going to be like maybe the United States title, but yeah, they went with tag team, which I'm fine with. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm fine with it too. I mean, again, I like R-Truth, but I think the R-Truth, like, I guess the R-Truth train of them wanting him to have his big moment. I mean, it could still happen at Mania, but I think maybe they thought that wasn't strong enough, and we have like a shit ton of tag teams, so that's better. The U.S. title match, it looks like it's just going to be Logan Paul and Kevin Owens and Orton, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, that's fine. Triple threat's fine. Yeah.
That works for me. And then
I'll say this: I think this is better for the tag teams to get the to have the ladder match, because they could do one simple thing: have 2 teams go up at the same time for the finish of the match, and have one team's pull down the Raw titles, and the other teams pull down SmackDown titles, and that's how you split the belts and get new belts. That's how I would do it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought that they were going to announce, because Nick Aldis, or I don't know if it was Nick Aldis or Pierce that said it, that they had an announcement about the tag titles, which I'm like, all right, are they going to announce the split of the titles? Which, again, like you said at Mania, that could very well happen. Is that both teams pull down one set of titles, so it could still happen. You never know. It's Mania. Let's see. I get a tag match with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell versus Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile. During the match, it looks like they're doing the storyline, based off of real life when Maxine got booed at that house show, which is Candice playing the role of the IWC, and also the fans, treating Maxine like shit and saying that she sucks. And there was a bit in the match where Maxine goes for the worm or the caterpillar, however you want to call it, and Candice stops her and says, "What are you doing? That's embarrassing. Why do you think people boo you? It's because you suck. And no wonder I'm glad that your brother's dead, so you wouldn't have to see this." Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Which Candice LeRae Cage, I guess what we're calling her, or what she's apparently being. Maxine says, "I can't do this." She walks away, and then Indy goes for a super kick and pins her. So, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I saw this meme on Twitter. I downloaded it because I knew I wouldn't be able to find the account again. It's Christian, when he says, you had a father, but your father's dead. But it's remixed for it to say brother. So I'm gonna put that in the chat for you guys to enjoy. So it's pretty funny.
And then Christian also tweeted, "Everybody wants to be me." So, and I was about to say, and in reality, Maxine's brother did pass away 2 years ago. I don't know. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about them using like real deaths and wrestling storylines?
It's the wrestling business. Like, I'm fine as long as the talent that's being involved is fine with it. Which I'm pretty sure with this administration that Maxine would say, like, yeah, you know, I'll be okay of talking about it. Pretty sure that, you know, that she was okay with it. So, but it's the wrestling business though. Like freaking like Paul's Bear's ashes, quote unquote, got dumped all over the Undertaker. Like, you know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, it's fucking pro wrestling. Like it's been around for like years and years and years and years and years with stuff like this.
Right. Well, I mean, we had that discussion I think 2 weeks ago about Maxine, and you know, I mean, I was saying, you know, I want to be wrong. Hopefully by the end of the year she shows improvement, because I never want anyone to suck. Like if someone has a bad match, I'm not gonna be like, oh, they're bad. You know, I want them to be bad and they suck. Get them out of there. I hate them. It's like this girl's had like what 5 matches. So it's just like I want her to get better. I would love for her to get better, and maybe this is a storyline that could not only help her get better, but maybe be seen as more of a sympathetic babyface to the audience, and Candice being the role of like I said, Christian Cage, Candice LeRae Cage. So we'll see. Anyone else has any thoughts about it? Post it below in the chat. And then Michael Cole interviewed Cody Rhodes, and Cody, you know, did his promo, which was a very emotional promo. He talked about finishing the story, not just for his dad, but you know, for his sister, for his mother, and then broke down in tears. Which, again, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little emotional. I'm like, oh man, come on, Cody, don't make me cry. But yeah, he cut a pretty good promo, pretty much saying, I have to win, I have to finish the story. This means more to me than just bringing a belt home for my dad. This is also for my mom to look at. Yeah, just Cody's Captain America. He's over like we're over. But what'd you think about that interview?
Great interview, great promo, emotion needed, and yeah, I have no issue with it.
And then the rest of the show, other than the main event, was kind of eh. Yeah, Jey Uso come out to issue a challenge to Jimmy Uso at Mania, which I'm pretty sure we're going to find out on Friday. You had R-Truth versus Damian, who Damian just beat the shit out of R-Truth, so good. And then you had the women's tag team title match, which was bleh. So let's get to the main event, which they were really hyping throughout the rest of the night. They made it feel special. They had all 6 men come out to basically talk about why they should win, why they want to win. It was the gauntlet match for the Intercontinental Championship Intercontinental Championship match at Mania against Gunther. You had Ricochet, JD McDonough, Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bronson Reed. Big Bronson Reed, I might add. And fantastic match. Fantastic gauntlet match. They gave these guys time. The match, I believe, started at 9:20 or like 9:25. So it wasn't just like a quick match. They actually gave these guys time because they really hyped it up all night, all week. The match started off with Ricochet and JD McDonough, which, you know, JD McDonough can work. Like, he can actually go out there and have pretty good matches. And I think they had about like 10 or 12 minutes, Ricochet and JD, which Ricochet won. Afterwards, he had Big Bronson Reed come out and, you know, go for his splash. So he pretty easily beat Ricochet. And then after that, you had Sami Zayn come out and win by a powerbomb off the apron. He wins. Trying to think of who else came out. Oh, Nakamura, obviously. He beats Nakamura, and then Nakamura attacks. Wait, am I forgetting somebody? I think Bronson beat up. Bronson beat up Sammy, and then Nakamura came out and tried to take advantage of the situation, but Sammy beat him. But Sammy was on one leg essentially, and then Chad Gable came out. And Chad wants his Mania moment, but he didn't want to face Sammy while he was down, and actually helped Sammy up, saying like, "Listen, I want to win, but not this way." So they have a good back and forth competitive match, which looked like Chad was taking the win. He was really taking advantage of that hurt leg, going for the ankle lock. Sammy wins with a roll up, so Sammy will be going to Mania to face Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, as we kind of predicted. I was thinking they were going to go with Chad, but I guess they're going to hold off on that for another date. They want to give
still a chance. I think there's still a chance for him to be at Mania. His shoulders was actually up. I don't know if they're going to run that with a storyline, though, so we'll see.
I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, it's going to be Sammy and Gunther at Mania. But what'd you think about the main event?
Great. Loved it. I'm trying to be short here because, time, so. But yeah, I loved it.
You. But yeah, great main event. And yeah, another great match added to the Mania card. But that was Raw. NXT. NXT was last night, as it usually is. I was kind of zoning in and out of NXT. For the most part, NXT was very, maybe this was just me that noticed it, was very promo and vignette heavy, which I'm fine with. I mean, they want to set up Stand to Deliver, so they send out other heavy hitters. Let me talk about some points of interest. You had Roxanne Perez come out and cut her first big heel promo, and pretty much just kind of echo what I'm not gonna take credit for this, but it's just what I said, was that she was like, I was doing the I'm happy to be here Roxanne Perez promos, but I'm no longer doing that because screw you, screw all of you. I want my title match against Lyra, and tells Ava Raine, Ava, come out here and reward me the NXT Women's Championship. And then Ava says the only reason why we took that title off of you is because that's pretty much what Doctor said. We were waiting for you to come back and you couldn't. But that's not the case with Lyra. And before anyone could say anything, Tatum comes out through the crowd, but she gets held back by security. So they're playing out that storyline nicely. So, hey, Roxanne's a heel. I like it. It works for her. It's more believable for her. It doesn't feel like she's playing a character. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, I like it. It's a new dynamic for her, and she's a student of the game, so I'm more sure that she will, flourish in this role.
Exactly. I like it. I'm liking what I'm saying. And then other points of interest, you had Obafemi versus Brooks Jensen. And I mean, if you can call it a match, Oba just beating the ever living shit out of Brooks Jensen, just fucking having his way with him. Josh Briggs watching in the back, but couldn't, and then comes out to the not the apron, but to ringside just to yell things at Brooks, saying, "Brooks, get your ass up, fight back." And then Oba just being a heel and looking at Briggs and saying, "I'll end this match when I want." And then was it power bombs? Was it Jensen like 2 or 3 times?
Yeah.
Finally pins him, and sets up a match for next week between Oba and Briggs. So cool. And then in the back, as Oba's cutting his promo, Dijak kind of throws out the challenge. So yeah, it looks like we're getting Dijak and Oba at TakeOver. I don't know, what'd you think?
Yeah, with him, he is a monster, and they're continuing to make him as a monster, so I am fine with that.
Nice. And Trick Williams came back. Trick Williams came back and cut a promo talking about Mello, saying, "Mello, you're my boy. I would have done anything for you, and you told me to go find that success. I told you what I wanted to do, and you're cool with it. I talked to Shawn Michaels. I talked to John Cena, asking what I gotta do to be the guy. And then you turn your back on me. So I want you to Stand and Deliver." And then Metaphor came out, pretty much just to talk shit. And there was a bit in the match where they're fighting, and then Lash is about to throw a slap, and then Trick grabs her hand and then pulls her in for a romantic kiss, which I didn't know this. They're actually dating in real life. So it's a pretty interesting couple. So we got that going on. And what else? What else did I miss? As for the rest of the night, I mean, NXT was decent. Like I said, I think it was just really setting up Stand and Deliver as it should. You had a triple threat qualifier for Stand and Deliver. You had the LWO versus OTM. LWO won. They had a pretty alright match, pretty decent match, nothing special. Was it Tony D'Angelo kidnapped Dragunov from his restaurant, and then they were at a bridge and showing that the power he has over the champion, and let him walk home, and left him to walk home. So they're
you could have whacked him right there if you wanted to.
I mean, he could have, but he didn't. So he's a nice Don. He's a giving Don. Let's see. Lexus King and Mr. Stone. I'm pretty sure you were happy about that match.
Oh, absolutely. It was match of the decade.
Match of the decade. And then, what else? The rest of the show. Gigi Dolan versus Ariana Grace. There's a stipulation for this match. If Ariana won, she was allowed to take Gigi under her wing and show her how to be a lady. During the match, while the referee wasn't looking, Ariana kicked Gigi in her area. I'll just put it like that. And then Gigi was mad. Well, I mean, yeah. And then Gigi retaliated by low blowing Ariana in her area, which she referred to as smashed hamburger on Twitter, which I thought was pretty fucking funny. Ariana's great. Which I never saw a woman's match ending in disqualification because another woman low blowed the other woman, which I didn't think scientifically that could work.
It's still a legal maneuver, no matter what. They can't change the rules of wrestling because one particular gender doesn't have the body parts.
I mean, if there are any women listening to the show, does it really hurt if you get punched in the box? Just any women listening to the show.
I'm pretty sure, if anything, if it's part of it, it's at least a fucking bone bruise.
Yeah, right. But any women listening to the show, anyone that knows women that listen to the show, email me, DM me on Twitter. Does it really hurt if you get punched in the box? Let me know. I want to know these things. But yeah, that was NXT. Oh, and then Thea Hale is back to being babyface Thea Hale with Chase University, so that's good. And then you had Shawn Spears and Ridge Holland, which Spears beat him by pinfall in a decent match. I'm still kind of confused as to what Shawn Spears' gimmick is supposed to be, but we'll see. But that was NXT. NXT is always still an enjoyable show. Last night was kind of 50-50, I'll put it that way. But what'd you think about NXT?
Good show.
You have anything to add?
No, good show. I liked it.
All right, but that's all the shows. We even reviewed AEW at the beginning of the show. So let's talk about some news. Actually, let's start with some TV ratings. Let's start with TV ratings. So I have the TV ratings right now. Friday Night SmackDown for March 8th drew a 2.439 mil. It had a 0.69 in the demo. The week prior, it drew a 2.348 with a 0.64 in the demo. So that's actually up in the ratings, so good for them. Rampage, AEW Rampage was 364,000, not million.
Million, Jesus.
Yeah, they're doing all right for themselves, AEW. With a 0.13 in the demo. The week prior, they drew a 344 with a 0.10 in the demo, so they actually had a rise in viewership, so good for them. AEW Collision on Saturday drew a 427,000 and a 0.13 in the demo. The week prior, they drew a 455 and a Jesus Christ, I can't talk. A 0.13 in the demo. So the demo was actually steady, but they actually dipped in viewership. Monday Night Raw this past Monday drew a 1.751 million and a .56 demo. They actually are up in the viewership this week. Last week they were 1.6. And then NXT from this past Tuesday was a 588,000 and a .16 the demo. Last week they're actually up 654 and then .16. So a little dip in viewership. What do you predict that Dynamite will draw tonight?
I don't know. It's definitely, not a million for sure, but I don't know, 850.
I'll go with that. Hall of Fame news. 2 Hall of Fame inductions. Thunderbolt Patterson, set for the class of 2024. A hugely influential, although often overlooked figure in sports entertainment history, Patterson's captivating abilities on the microphone inspired a generation of talkers that followed in his footsteps. Growing up in Iowa, Patterson moved to Texas and worked for legendary promoter Dory Funk Sr., where he began performing incredible interviews using a delivery inspired by black Southern pastures. Patterson backed up his talents on the microphone and the ring as he captured titles across North America while defeating iconic opponents like Bruiser Brody and WWE Hall of Famer The Sheik. And I'm reading all this because I've literally never heard of this guy. Have you ever heard of Thunderbolt Patterson?
Absolutely. He's one of the first black man wrestling that want to get equal pay for for white men, towards white men in wrestling. So Dusty Rhodes is heavily influenced by him, his promo ability. So if you listen to a Thunderbolt Patterson promo, you'll hear the Dusty Rhodes influence there as well. He also teamed with the Big Cat Ernie Ladd as well. So, and he wrestled predominantly in Georgia. So
nice. Another Hall of Fame inductee, if this fucking page will load, Muhammad Ali will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Let's see. In 1976, on June 26, Ali competed in the War of Worlds against WWE Hall of Famer Antonio Inoki inside the Nippon Budokan Arena in Tokyo, Japan. And it resulted in a 15-round draw in front of 32,000 fans in the crowd. The bout was also broadcast on closed-circuit television to nearly 33,000 fans inside Shea Stadium in Queens, New York. And, yeah. And didn't he showed up at the first Mania, right?
Yeah, he was special guest referee for the main event. Also, the Inoki thing, that was the first mix of a high-profile athlete coming into to pro wrestling at that bigger stage, even though it was known as one of the worst matches ever. Then obviously he had his influence in WCW for a little bit too as well, where I forget I want to say that he was there as another guest or some sort. It wasn't special referee, but obviously Muhammad Ali, he's he's known as the greatest boxer of all time. So, just having him at WrestleMania 1, which is the most important wrestling event of all time, is more enough to put him in the Hall of Fame. So, still wondering why there's no Cyndi Lauper, but whatever.
I thought she was already inducted. That's weird.
To my knowledge, no. I know that Jesus Christ. Oh, Randy Richter. I know Randy Richter has, but yeah.
All right. So, what's next? Corporate officers and Janelle Grant lawsuit revealed. WWE issues statement. The corporate officers and Janelle lawsuit against WWE, Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, have been named. As we've been reporting here on EWN, Grant sued McMahon, Laurinaitis, and WWE over allegations that McMahon sexually trafficked and assaulted her. She also says WWE covered up the allegations. The lawsuit has listed two individuals as only corporate officer number 1 and corporate officer number 2, as having been involved in facilitating and covering up the alleged exploitation. According to a report on Front Office Sports, the two men are WWE President Nick Khan and WWE CEO Brad Bloom. Khan is corporate officer number 1 and Bloom is corporate officer number 2. When asked for comment on the names, Grant's attorney said, "I can confirm that these names are correct." Additionally, 2 other unnamed individuals in corporate officer number 3 and corporate officer number 4 were listed in the lawsuit. Stephanie McMahon is corporate officer number 3, while former general counsel and WWE NXT legal department head Brian Nurse is corporate officer number 4. It's worth noting that the suit does not explicitly make any claims that regarding whether Khan, Blum, Stephanie McMahon, or Nurse were aware of the alleged acts of sexual assault and degradation. McMahon reportedly named Blum and Khan as his key fixtures and had promised Grant in March of 2019 that his office would arrange a meeting with Blum. At the time, Blum was EVP of Operations. Grant allegedly met with him the following week and was hardly asked any questions. She was soon hired for a job in the legal department for a $75,000 salary. There's a lot. I'm almost done. McMahon reportedly told Grant in February 2020 that he had been warned by Blum of a lot of rumors circulating about the relationship between McMahon and Grant. At the time, she was immediately transferred to another department. After Grant signed the NDA about the matter, McMahon reportedly told her to contact Blum if she needed anything. As far as Nick Khan is concerned, he allegedly introduced himself to Grant in March of 2021 and said he knew exactly who she was. So all in all, these names that were named, more so Khan and Blum and even Stephanie, they are basically just named as far as like hiring her. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
I mean, this is not really much of anything to me as of right now. If there's more news that comes out on this, if there's like actual, full-on evidence, then, we'll probably go more in depth. But like as of right now, this is like, to me, this seems like early information from what's actually to come. So can't really comment on it.
All right. Fair enough. All right. And this is merchandise sales. I don't know if you want to. It was kind of interesting to go over. Let's see. Merchandise sales as of last week. So we have the top 10. So, all right, let me just go over the top 10. Number 10 is Stone Cold Philly 316. Number 9 is Stone Cold 316. So just regular 316. Number 8 is Roman Reigns Levels Above. His hoodie that he wears. Number 7 is Jey Uso, his Blue Yeet shirt, which I kind of want to get that. Number 6, Cody Rhodes Skull Camo shirt. Number 5, Cody Rhodes Claim Kingdom shirt. I think that's the one with his dog on it. Number 4, Randy Orton's Strike First shirt. Number 3, Rhea Ripley Mommy on Top. Number 2, Jey Uso, his Blue Yeet shirt. Can you guess what number 1 is?
The Cody shirt. I don't know.
It's CM Punk's 2011 Classic shirt.
Oh, cool.
So it's a little interesting.
I have the original.
I do. I think I still do. And then last bit of news: Triple H talking about SummerSlam in Cleveland. Apparently, during his podcast, Logan Paul discussed wanting a huge name to face at the event, and basketball legend LeBron James' name came up in the conversation. Triple H addressed on Twitter, saying, "We've got plans for SummerSlam's big return to Cleveland this year. Please, Logan Paul. We'll need to iron out those details a bit." So, do you have any reactions to?
No, because it was saying a joking matter. It wasn't serious, and I don't see LeBron coming to WWE. Unless, I mean, he may be there as far as like a fan and maybe on camera, but like as far as like a match, no.
I mean, if LeBron wasn't going to compete in the dunk contest, he's not going to compete in a wrestling match. I'm kind of interested. So, like, who are some current or past, like, NBA or NFL athletes in general that you'd be interested in seeing in the WWE or wrestling in general?
No one from the NBA. Like at all. Maybe NFL. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Travis Kelce or George Kittle. George Kittle because he actually likes wrestling. So, you know. I don't know.
Anybody
What about
have
you?
any? Me? Kind of like you. Like, I don't see any NBA people coming to the WWE because I don't think they can hang in the WWE. Yeah, Travis Kelce, I think, is kind of like the I guess the best bet because he looks like an athlete and he can probably do the matches.
Well, he is an athlete. He doesn't look like one. He is a fucking.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. he is an athlete and he looks like a wrestler. He has the personality. Maybe his brother. Maybe bring his brother in to do a match. Yeah, Kittle, like you just said, he actually likes wrestling. I can see him wanting to do a match. Trying to think of anyone else. Yeah, I think that's really about it. There's really not too many athletes from any other sport other than the NFL that could believably make the transition to, wrestling or WWE in general. But yeah, that's all the news I have. Do you have anything?
I don't know.
Boo. I have something. I have this day in wrestling history, March 13th. So I'm going to make this quick. 1995. WWF Monday Night Raw came from Stockton, California, with live and taped editions of the show and the build-up to WrestleMania that year. On the live edition, Jacob and Eli Blue fought the Head Shrinkers to a count-out draw. Yeah, the Head Shrinkers. To a count-out draw.
The Harris twins. The Blue Brothers were the Harris twins.
Harris twins, there you go. And Jerry Lawler defeated Bret Hart in the main event by countout due to outside interference from the WWF Women's Champion Bull Nakano, future Hall of Famer. On the taped editions, the Smoked Guns retained the WWF Tag Team titles against the Heavenly Bodies, and former NFL Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers superstar Steve McMichael brawled with Kama, the Supreme Fighting Machine, from the $1 Million Corporation building towards the upcoming match between Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania.
All but 6 months away from being on Nitro.
Interesting. Also, Bret Hart defeated Bret Hart in a no-holds-barred match.
Bret Hart defeated Bret Hart?
I'm sorry, Bret Hart defeated Owen Hart in a no-holds-barred match. You know what I found out about that? So Donnie Wahlberg, who showed up at Mania one year, had said that he tried to pitch an idea of a tag match where Donnie would team up with Bret and Owen would team up with Mark.
Yep. I remember the story. I think he said that it was 10, 15 years ago that story came out.
I don't know. That would have been crazy, seeing Mark Wahlberg in a wrestling ring. 2000, The Rock defeated Big Show to regain his WrestleMania WWF title match opportunity on WWF Raw from East Rutherford, New Jersey, after putting his career on the line as the stipulation. He was assisted by the returning Vince McMahon, who had not been seen on television for 3 months. Also, Dean Malenko defeated S.A. Rios for the WWF Light Heavyweight title. This edition of Raw is also infamous for when Bubba Ray Dudley delivering a powerbomb to Mae Young through a table off the top of the entrance ramp. I remember that. I know you remember that. Great moment. 2001, at the Sunday Night Heat and SmackDown tapings in Anaheim, California, Crash Holly defeated Dean Malenko for the WWF Light Heavyweight title. Also, the Dudley Boys defeated Chris Jericho in a handicap tables match, and Stone Cold Steve Austin pinned Kurt Angle. 2003, AJ Styles and the Amazing Red defeated Christopher Daniels and Xavier for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles in the main event of Ring of Honor, Expect the Unexpected from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. 2004, At Ring of Honor, at our best in Elizabeth, New Jersey, Samoa Joe retained the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship against Jay Briscoe in a steel cage match. Also, AJ Styles defeated CM Punk to retain the Ring of Honor Pure Wrestling title with Ricky Steamboat as the guest referee. Got a few more here. 2004, WWE held their first Hall of Fame ceremony since 1996 at a Hilton Hotel in New York City the night before WrestleMania 20. The induction class included Bobby Heenan, Jesse Ventura, Big John Studd, Don Morocco, Harley Race, Tito Santana, and superstar Billy Graham, the Junkyard Dog, Sergeant Slaughter, Greg Valentine, and Pete Rose, who was the first ever celebrity induction. 2005, in the Impact Zone from Orlando at the TNA Destination X pay-per-view, Jeff Jarrett retained the NWA World Heavyweight title against Diamond Dallas Page in a ringside revenge match. Christopher Daniels was victorious over AJ Styles, Elix Skipper, and Ron Killings for the NWA X Division title in an Ultimate X match. Jeff Hardy defeated Abyss in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Dustin Rhodes defeated Raven in a bull rope match. And the Outlaw defeated Kevin Nash in a First Blood match. And we just got a few more. We'll be done. Alright. 2007. WWE Hall of Famer Arnold Skaaland passed away at the age of 82. 2009.
Golden Boy.
What was that?
I said Golden Boy.
Right. 2009. Angie Martin, known as Test, passed away at the age of 33 in Tampa, Florida.
I believe he was only 33. It seemed like he was older than that, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember that day. It was a pretty sad day. I like Test. I was a fan of Test. I thought he had a look. I kind of always wanted to see what it'd be like if he was at least champion for like a month. But that's just me. What'd you think? What'd you think about Test?
Lower mid card guy. He was good. I liked him, but I didn't see him like that as a world champion or anything like that. So, especially in Attitude Era, like it was like fully stacked. Like, yeah. Maybe nowadays, like, you know, if he would have came up nowadays, maybe, you know, he would have had a chance. But yeah, Attitude Era, like, yeah, like he was just a guy. I mean, yeah, he was a good guy, but he was just like, in the grand scheme of things, just a guy.
Yeah, they really wanted to push him right off the bat. They put him in that storyline with Stephanie where they were engaged, and then Triple H, you know, kidnapped her and drugged her and married her, and that
killed his career right there.
You know, how many times did we consummate the marriage? Like only in wrestling that can happen. All right, 2011, Sting retained the TNA World Heavyweight title against Jeff Hardy in the main event of Victory Road from the Impact Zone in Orlando, which was the controversial match that a lot of people remember, where Jeff Hardy showed up in no condition to wrestle.
I still can't believe that they actually did the WWE 24 and they actually showed like the TNA footage and stuff of that match, and Sting talking about it with the Hardys. Like, it's kind of crazy that they got the, like, they normally don't get TNA footage, but they got the TNA footage for that shit.
I mean, I'm kind of glad they showed it because, like, you know, with that documentary, it was like, you know, where have the Hardys been? You know, what have they been up to? So it would have been weird if Jeff is like, yeah, I showed up drunk or pilled out to a pay-per-view event. Like, I'm glad that they got the footage, because it just made the story, I don't want to say mean that much more, but it added more depth to the story. Yeah, like I remember I remember that pay-per-view. I mean, I don't remember watching it live, but I remember hearing it.
Sucked. Like everyone was like talking just about that, but like that pay-per-view sucked. By the way, I remember it was like Mr. Anderson versus like Mr. Anderson versus like Kurt Angle or somebody, where it was like a number one contenders match to just end like with disqualification or something like that. It was like an important match, and it was like, oh man, yeah, that was a bad show. Victory Road 2011.
Victory Road. But that was pretty much a black eye on wrestling, one of many. And yeah, I mean, even Sting was pissed off The fans are chanting bullshit, and Steam goes, I agree. So, but yeah, it happened, and the fucking site decided to crash. What the fuck? All right, now we're back. 2017, former professional wrestler Dennis Stamp died of cancer at the age of 71.
Ooh.
Do you remember? You saw Beyond the Mat, right?
I didn't hear the name. What was the name?
Dennis Stamp.
Oh, that's the Funk's friend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he always stays ready, so he'd be booked.
Yeah, he was the referee for Terry Funk's, or one of Terry Funk's many retirement matches.
I'm not booked.
I'm not booked, Bourbon. He passed away in 2017. And then 2020, we'll end it right here. The first edition of WWE SmackDown in the WWE Performance Center in Orlando took place as the world entered in the COVID-19 pandemic. Jeff Hardy returned to action after being away for a year and was victorious over King Corbin. Daniel Bryan defeated Cesaro. Bayley and Sasha Banks defeated Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Roman Reigns had a sit-down interview with Michael Cole regarding his originally booked WrestleMania Universal Championship match with Goldberg, and Bray Wyatt confronts John Cena. Man, a lot's happened in the past 4 years.
That seems like a lifetime ago at this point.
Right, and then Roman just said, "I'm out of here." Like, I'm dipping, yo. Notable birthdays: Matt Jackson turns 39. Yoshiki Takahashi turns 54, I believe. And Beulah McGillicuddy is the same age. So happy birthday to those individuals. But on that note, we have no more news. We are out. We're out on actually a little bit earlier than we were thinking about getting out. But yeah, we're out. We're, like I said, we're going to try and do these shows a little bit more shorter, just so we're not here all night. But yeah, an hour 24, peeps. That's the show. And as always, I want to thank my man here, Justin, for being on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I want to thank the rest of you for showing up tonight. Punked Enigma, Scott, RJ, the Brooklyn Savage, the man in the house. He just had a show earlier with Monty, the Brooklyn Power Trip, so look for that. I'm pretty sure it's out already. Maurice Bear, Kyle K, and Uncle Jimmy. I don't think I've seen you here before, but welcome to the chat, Mr. Jimmy. Or Uncle Jimmy, I may add. Patreon. Patreon is $5 a month. With that, you get a show I do with RJ here, which we need to put. I need to talk to him after this to see when we can do that show. And then I do a show with Ruben Prime, which we're doing one this coming Monday, I believe. It's called Culture Attack. And then I do a show with Jeff Lippman, which we do that monthly because Jeff's a busy boy. It's $5 a month, people. You're gonna love what you get for $5 a month. I guarantee it. And then you know where to find me. X, Twitter, unfortunately, Instagram. I have a Facebook page. I also have a YouTube channel. So let's try to get those numbers up. And the show here is, like I said, every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time here on the Wrestling Soup Discord channel. And where you can hear the podcast, the replay is pretty much everywhere that podcasts are distributed. And that's enough about me. Justin, tell the people about you and Spinebuster Tees.
Spinebuster Tees, SpinebusterTees.com. Visit. Do have plenty of array of t-shirts available for pro wrestling fans like all of ourselves here, pro wrestling nerds here, including the Just Enjoy Wrestling t-shirt, the I Am Pro Wrestling t-shirt, I Am a Mark, have the Weapons of Pro Wrestling t-shirt, the Match Types of Pro Wrestling t-shirt, have the Hardcore Wrestling t-shirt. So a array of designs on the website, approximately 20 designs on the website for you guys to pick. Over $40 will get you, before tax, will get you free shipping at checkout. And yeah, that's the website, but Spinebuster Tees on Instagram. Visit there where you can get more information about my location, Spinebuster Tees at the Wonderland of America's mall in San Antonio, Texas. Physical location. Come and visit, not to only get pro wrestling t-shirts, but also action figures, pop figures, trading cards, wrestling socks, wrestling hats, autograph 8x10s and vintage magazines and lucha mask. I have it all in my shop. I actually just got recently these vintage Von Erich 8x10s from the late 70s, early 80s. So you never know what you'll find. You'll never know what you'll find in my shop. So SpineBustCheese, SpineBustCheese.com. Open Wednesdays through Sundays. So no longer open 7 days a week, but Wednesdays through Sundays. Come by, check it out, and yeah, we can talk. If you don't come in to purchase anything, you can definitely just come in and have a conversation with me about pro wrestling. So it's a shop where I want to have people, like a no judgment zone, kind of like Planet Fitness. That's what my shop is. So yeah.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks. Peeps, check hit up my boy at his store if you live in the San Antonio area. He also has a website where you can buy shit, so he's got you covered. All right, that is the show, and we're out of here. We're out of here early, and we will see you next week. Same time, same channel. And that's really about it, peeps. So have a good night, be safe, and peace.
Peace.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari. It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.
The Drew Yari Show.
It's Drew Yari.